A very good evening to everyone, and thank you for coming for this press conference. Friends, I would like to update you on two subjects today. First is regarding the price of petrol and diesel in the state, and second is regarding the load shedding that is there in the state today. As you're aware, the price of petrol has increased in the recent past. Shillong today has a price of 91.26 rupees per litre for petrol, and in Shillong the price for diesel is 84.23 rupees per litre. Keeping this aspect in mind and the fact that consumers are being affected, and in spite of the fact that state is facing a lot of financial issues, and the VAT that we have collected from petrol and diesel has helped the state in these periods of COVID-19 that we have faced and the challenges we have faced, the government of Meghalaya has decided that we will be reducing the VAT for petrol and for diesel both. The reduction for petrol, which currently is at 31.62% or 17.60 per litre, will now be reduced to 20% or 15 rupees per litre, whichever is higher. This would mean that the price of petrol in Meghalaya, in Shillong, would reduce from 91.26 rupees to 85.86 rupees, a reduction of approximately 6 rupees. And if you were to include the earlier 2 rupees that we have already reduced, it would come up to almost 7.4 rupees per litre in Shillong, and respectively in other districts also the impact will be, especially in Ribhoy, the impact will be accordingly felt. The details of the pricing and the chart, I will circulate it after this press conference. Apart from petrol, in diesel, the VAT structure, which is currently at 22.95% or 12 rupees per litre, whichever is higher, will now be reduced to 12% or 9 rupees per litre, whichever is higher, which would mean that diesel would cost from 84.23 rupees in Shillong would now be down to 79.13, a reduction of approximately 5 rupees in diesel. And if you were to include the 2 rupees that was done initially, that would be approximately 7 rupees. So both prices of diesel and petrol will be reduced by approximately 7 rupees. And this is being done primarily to ensure that the consumers are not affected by the high prices. So in order to give some relief to the consumers in the state, this is being done. And also, you have noticed that in the past, we have always maintained the competitive pricing with Guwahati and with Assam in order to ensure that our sales are not affected. So we are hopeful that with this, our sales also will go up and we will be able to make up some of the losses in the taxes that we may have due to the reduction of the prices in both petrol and diesel. The second part of the press conference has to do with the outstanding, load shedding that is there in the state. To give a background to this entire process, you are aware that the cabinet of Government of Meghalaya had cleared a loan to be taken by MECL through the REC amounting to 1,345 crores. This amount was part of the Atmanirbhar program of Government of India, which was availed by all the states. The objective was to enable the state utilities, the companies, to pay the different generation companies like NIPCO, NHPC, NTPC, PGCIL, OTPC, and other such generation companies, the dues that were there for many, many years. So for Meghalaya, keeping all the factors in mind, along with late charges, the amount came to 1,345 crores. Government of India and the REC had decided to release the amounts in two tranches. So 672.86 crores and 672.86 crores in the second tranche. The government and the REC, I should say, the REC has approved the first tranche of 672 crores. And out of this amount, 336.43 crores has already been released to the different agencies. So out of the 1,345 crores, an amount of 336 has been released. We are still have not released the rest of the 75%, which is with REC, not with the state government. And as you're aware, that this amount that has been approved by REC and Government of India, the funds are released from REC straight to the generation companies. So the funds also are not routed through the state government. They are released directly. Out of the 336.43 crores, which was released in the first part of the first tranche of 672 crores, 127 crores was paid to NIPCO, 14 crores to NHPC, 144 crores to NTPC, and approximately 25 crores was paid to PGCIL. So therefore, the second part also is left, which REC will be clearing very soon of the first tranche itself. Recently, the regulation that has been put in on the power sector in the state has been done by the PGCIL, where certain amount, which was again part of this Atmanirbhar program of 1,345 crores, has not yet been released by the REC. So therefore, there are certain processes which are in place, but the PGCIL decided that without waiting for the REC's approval, REC's release, that they would go ahead with the regulation that they have done in the state. And because of that, we are facing this entire load shedding that is taking place in the state right now for 7 hours. So this is not done because of the generation companies, but from the transmission company, which is PGCIL. So there have discussions have taken place with PGCIL. We had decided as a government this morning that we will discuss with PGCIL and negotiate with them and find a way forward. After telling you the entire background of everything, I'm happy to inform the citizens of the state and all the consumers of the state that the load shedding will be removed completely in the next 24 hours. So there will be no load shedding in the state at all. We have discussed it with PGCIL, and necessary steps are being taken to ensure that the load shedding is completely taken out. But while saying this, I would also like to put in a note that MECL has gone through a lot of difficulty and a lot of challenges for many years now. And there have been many efforts now to ensure that we are able to reform and strengthen MECL overall. There were steps taken by dividing the different agencies and companies from generation, distribution, transmission, and many other steps have been taken to restructure and reform MECL. Apart from that, there are a lot of areas where outstanding bills have been there. There are many areas also where the actual bills are not coming out as an actual, where there are issues of metering that are taking place. In this regard, I would like to take this opportunity also to appeal to our citizens of the state and to all the consumers of MECL that if we want MECL to become healthy again and to ensure that there is proper power supply, we need to ensure that our bills are paid on time. We need to ensure that MECL is strengthened financially. We are going with the process of putting in smart meters, and this will ensure that the proper billing comes up, and anybody who's trying to reduce any kind of consumption patterns out here will come out transparently. So this will be a process which will restructure and redefine the way MECL works, and I would urge our citizens to please cooperate with that and to ensure that everybody pays their bills on time, and that is the only way for us to make sure that MECL becomes healthy again and we're able to see a true transformation in the power sector. So with these words, once again, I'd like to inform everyone that the entire load shedding that is there within the next 24 hours, as I said, so it could be before also, it could be just about 24 hours, but within 24 hours, we will see that this entire load shedding will be reduced. So this requires some official communication also, as well as some technical work that has to be done. So it may, as I say, take may not take immediate effect, but I'm hopeful that within the next 24 hours, as I said, the decision has been made and communicated, and we've also got the approval from Power Grid, and we're hopeful that within the next 24 hours, this also issue will be resolved. So these were the 2 points that I would like to mention. With that, I'll close the press conference for today. Thank you very much.
So one question: how much revenue loss was there due to 14 days agitation by this commercial vehicle?
That number I don't have with me. What kind of loss means?
Revenue loss.
To whom?
Means, because of this agitation, the economy has suffered. So how much was?
It's difficult to assess. It's a very random question you have asked. So obviously the taxi owners and the commercial vehicle owners did suffer at their individual levels also. It was a difficult phase for them, and and I'm happy now that because of the reforms that have taken place and because of the adjustments now that in the VAT that we have taken place, I'm sure that this will affect and make the consumers overall happy, and obviously even the commercial vehicles also will benefit from the reduction in the price.
So with the decision taken by the government to reduce prices of petrol and diesel, do we see that the government will consider revising the passenger fares, because some of the districts have gone ahead to revise the...
We have revised the passenger fares in 2020, and whatever the fares were revised in 2020 will be applicable.
Can you tell us the revenue loss from this we are reducing the VAT? What will be the revenue loss?
Well, we can only go for an estimation because it all depends on the sale also that takes place. But the revenue loss that we do expect, which we would have received if the old rates have continued, the revenue loss expected would be approximately 20 plus crores every month. But on the other side, I would also like to inform you that the revenues compared to last year, which was 326 crores for the entire year, today at January, we have already touched 451 crores. So the jump in the revenue compared to last year has been there, and therefore, even though the revenue will come down, we expect that the revenue overall from VAT in the petrol and diesel will go up from 326 crores last year to at least 470 crores this year. So there's a 140 crore jump, but it would have been more if the prices had not come down. But as I said, we want to ensure that our consumers get some relief, and for that we have decided to cut down the VAT.
One more question, sir. Will you tax somehow the items in order to make up the losses?
As I said, this has been a very difficult financial year for the entire country.
So,
no, we will examine definitely. I'm just giving you the background that it has been a tough year. Through this VAT collection and through the excise collection, we have managed to get some relief. So obviously it has been something that has helped us a lot. And in the future also, we are going to examine all possible ways, whether it's luxury tax or whatever you call it. We'll find out ways in which we can increase our revenue because it's required. Just a few months back, if you remember, we have also included another 10 or 14 items which included, we were not there for cess, so we've included that in the cess notification also, and that, as you know, will help us raise at least about 70 crores. And with that money, we'll be able to build the 200 schools that we're planning to do this year is going to be built with that money. So all these factors are being examined. So obviously, we will examine every possible way in which we can increase the revenue of the state, but we need to also keep in mind the consumers and the citizens of the state so that it does not put too much pressure on them.
Sir, why was tax not increased for liquor and tobacco instead of petrol and diesel, which affects the entire population?
Sorry?
Why was not tax increased instead of petrol and diesel for alcohol and cigarettes?
Yeah, alcohol was already increased. In fact, I don't have the numbers exactly with me, but yeah, we had increased it by almost retail lifting charge amounting to 25% was increased in the month of April, in the month of May, on May 8th, 2020. So it was already, yeah, it was done, but it's still there. So your question is not valid.
So if my colleague is talking about increasing, I would like to talk about reducing the price of alcohol, since Assam has recently...
We will examine that. We will examine that, but at the right time. I think right now the pressing issue is which affects the citizens in general, which then affects the goods, aspect also, is the price of the petrol and diesel. So transportation gets affected and every consumer is affected. So in appropriate time, we are examining the prices for the excise also, because as I said, we need to maintain a competitive pricing. So that area also is being examined, but once the calculations come in, we examine, entire details examined, then we will take the call. The department is already working on the details, and we will just examine it and then we'll take a decision on that.
Sir, coming to the power sector, you have appealed to the consumers of the state to pay their bills on time.
Yeah.
But what action will the government take against industries and factories who have not paid their outstanding power dues?
In the last 2 months, after notifications were sent to different companies and industries and large consumers who have not paid, we have recovered close to 90 crores of outstanding bill, which has not been paid for maybe over 5 years now. Number two, we have cut power to many of these units who have not paid, and after cutting the power to them, supply to them, many of them have paid. So this process will continue, and we will not allow power to be given to consumers, especially the large consumers, commercial consumers, and action will be taken, like as I said, like disconnecting their power if the bills are not paid on time.